Guys, do subscribe the Gate Hunt and press the bell icon to receive notifications on latest jobs updates, Gate talks and video lectures on Gate and IES. Hello guys, welcome to this 10th lecture of ICT for GS for IES. So guys, in the last lecture, we were talking about OSI reference model. We talked about the features of various layers present in OSI reference model. So today we will start our discussion with data transmission in a network with respect to OSI reference model, and then we will move on to the third chapter of ICT, that is the networking security. So let us first of all talk about how data transmission takes place in a network with respect to OSI reference model. So guys, let us consider that this is the sender and this is the receiver. So I have joined this sender and receiver by means of a channel, and this is a interconnection between sender and receiver. So as we have discussed in OSI reference model, there will be 7 layers present in sender node as well as in the receiver node. So guys, these 7 layers are application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transportation layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. So as these two nodes, that is the sender node and the receiver node, are interconnected, therefore let us discuss that how data transmission will take place in a network with respect to OSI reference model. So let us consider that the message M is present at sender node, which we have to transfer to the receiver node. So this message will get transmitted from the sender system in top to down approach, that is from top to bottom, and it will be transmitted in the receiver node in bottom up approach, that is from physical layer to the application layer. Guys, while data transmission takes place in the sender node, that is from the application layer of the sender node to the physical layer of the sender node, then a header file gets added to this message whenever it crosses a layer. That is, let us suppose that this M represents our message. Then on reaching application layer, it becomes of this type, that is, it will contain a header H1 and the message which is meant to be transmitted from sender to receiver. Guys, further, when this message reaches this presentation layer, then one more header gets added to this message. Let us consider that header as H2. So guys, like this, as the message moves from upper layer to the bottom layer, in each layer one header gets added to it. Guys, what type of header gets added to it is not our concern and is totally irrelevant for IS point of view. So you just need to remember that when this message moves from upper layer to the downwards layer, then a header gets added to it in each layer. And when this message moves from downward side to upward side, then one header gets removed or excluded from it while it crosses each layer. So guys, on summing up all these points, we can say that the key points about how the data transmission takes place in a network with respect to OSI reference model are that in sender system, message transmission takes place in top-down approach and headers are added when message moves from one layer to another, whereas in receiver system, messages are transmitted in bottom-up approach and headers are removed or excluded whenever this message gets transmitted from one layer to another. So all you need to do is remember these 4 points for IES point of view. So guys, now let's start with the chapter 3rd of ICT for GS for IES. So guys, the chapter 3rd in our syllabus is about networking security. Guys, this networking security is also known as information security or cyber security or IT security. So all these terms means the same. So we will be talking about the different aspects of networking security in this chapter. So guys, this computer security or networking security or information security or cyber security is also known as IT security. So it is a process of protecting the software or hardware and important information from the third party users. So guys, let's say for example that this is the sender system and this is the receiver system, and they are interconnected by means of a channel, and we are supposed to send a message from sender to receiver. So here this message represents the software which is needed to be transmitted from sender to receiver, and we want that this message should not be altered while it gets transmitted from sender to receiver. So this message needs a protection. So this is the software component that is needed to be protected, whereas this channel represents the hardware component which needs to be protected. So guys, in computer security we will be discussing about various aspects of protecting the softwares and hardwares and important information from the third party users. Guys, talking about that, what are the important objectives or goals of computer security or networking security? So the goals of computer security are that it is meant to protect the confidentiality, integrity, authentication and availability. So guys, all these terms are collectively known as security services. Therefore, in order to provide these security services, we need to provide security to hardware and software. Guys, these security services are also called CIA triads, where C stands for confidentiality, I stands for integrity, and A stands for authentication and availability. Guys, now let's discuss that what are the security attacks or the cyber attacks because of which these security services gets affected. So guys, first security attack is interruption. Guys, let us say that this is the sender and this is the receiver, and this is the channel through which a message M needs to be transmitted from sender to receiver. Now, due to some cyber attacks, this channel gets interrupted, and now there is no means of transferring this data from sender to receiver. So guys, we can say that interruption is an attack on availability security service. Guys, moving on, second type of cyber attack is interception. Guys, let us say that this is the sender node and this is the receiver node, and this is the channel through which message M needs to be transmitted. Now there is one more node I, which is the intruder node. So this intruder is getting information but not altering the message. Therefore, since this message is known by the third party, it is not a confidential message. Hence, we can say that interception is an attack on confidentiality security service. Guys, third type of cyber attack is modification. Guys, in this case, let us say that this intruder is getting information from sender and then altering it and then sending the wrong information to the receiver. Hence, we can say that this intruder is modifying the original form of message. Therefore, modification is an attack on integrity security service. Guys, moving on, the fourth kind of cyber attack is fabrication. So guys, let us say that this is the sender node and this is the receiver node. So in case of fabrication, some intruder sends the message to the receiver, and the receiver thinks that he has obtained this message from the sender. So this intruder is sending this message by knowing the password of sender on behalf of sender. Hence, fabrication is an attack on authentication security service. So guys, one example of this interruption security attack is, let us say due to the presence of any virus, I am not able to open my online banking account. So that virus is causing interruption in my connection with the server of my banking account, and it is making the banking server unavailable to me. Guys, one example of this interception security attack can be that imagine somehow a third party user is knowing my balance of my banking account by intruding my banking account. He is not making any changes, but he is able to watch my present balance. Guys, one example of this modification cyber attack can be That for example, I am sending 50,000 rupees to one of my friend through online banking, but he is receiving only 1,000 rupees. So my account has been attacked by the modification cyber attack. Guys, one example of this fabrication security attack can be that someone else is sending me message on behalf of the bank. Therefore, guys, in order to protect these security services from these security attacks, we need to provide security for information, or we need to provide security for software, or we need to provide security for hardware. So this was about the introduction part of cyber security. Guys, now in order to know in more detail about cyber security, let us talk about some basic terminology that we are going to use. Guys, the first terminology is threat. So, threat can be anything which disturbs the operation. And to create the disturbance in operation of a network or of a system, it exploits the vulnerability of a system. Guys, example of a threat can be a virus in a pen drive. So, it is the threat to our system. Guys, moving on, the second terminology is vulnerability. So, vulnerability is a weakness of the system. And by knowing this weakness of a system, the intruder or the third party can easily exploit it. So, for example, if our system is not having any antivirus software, then we can say that our system is having a weakness. Guys, moving on, the third terminology is attack. So, attack can be defined as an act or action which can exploit the vulnerability of a system. Now, guys, let's discuss that what is the main difference between threat and attack. So, a threat can be intentional or unintentional, whereas an attack can be intentional only. Guys, attacks are basically of two types. Number first is the passive attack, and second one is the active attack. So the passive attacks are difficult to detect, whereas active attacks are easy to detect. Passive attacks doesn't affect the system, whereas active attacks affect the system. They get involved into the operation and alter them. Talking about the passive attacks, there is no financial gain involved in case of passive attack, whereas financial gain is involved in case of active attack. Guys, now let's talk about the fourth type of terminology, that is malware. So malware stands for malicious software. Guys, malware gives a chance to intruder to gain control on the personal information or sensitive information or computer. So it is a broad term that encompasses, or we can say that includes, computer viruses, worms, Trojan horse, spyware, adware, etc. So for example, while working on internet, we are sometimes asked to install a software to open a certain document. Therefore, we should always scan that software using antivirus before installing it, because it might contain viruses or worms or Trojan horses or spywares or adwares, etc., which are collectively called as malwares. So, guys, what are these viruses? Virus is a piece of software that can infect other programs by modifying them. Whereas, talking about worms, it is a program that can replicate itself and send copies from computer to computer across the network connection. Guys, talking about Trojan horses, it is a program that appears harmless, but it is in fact malicious. They are spread by some types of social engineering. Guys, what does this social engineering mean, that we will discuss in few minutes. Guys, talking about adwares, adware stands for advertisement softwares. It sends the personal information to the third party for advertising. So for example, to open a program, let us say we are asked to install a software. And now after installing that software in our browser, new plugins gets added up automatically, and these plugins starts showing ads on regular basis based on our browsing history, our likes and dislikes, etc. So this is how an adware software works. Guys, moving on, spyware is a software which sends the personal information to third party for financial gain. Guys, for example, whenever we install a software, it asks us that can we use your images, can we manage your contacts, and can we manage your messages. So what we say, we always press okay for everything, and then unknowingly we gives access to the third party to use all our personal information. And now he can blackmail us by saying that he will leak our personal information and can ask us for money. So, guys, in order to safeguard ourselves from these malwares, we must use some security mechanism to protect our network and to protect our personal information. So, to protect our network, the security mechanism used by us is firewall that we will be discussing later on. And whereas to protect our personal information, we use digital signatures, and that also we will be discussing later on. Guys, apart from these malwares, there is one more threat which is known as keyloggers. So these softwares captures keystrokes of keyboards and then sends them to cyber criminals without the knowledge of user. So guys, for example, while using online banking, these keyloggers captures your username and the password which you have entered using your keyboard and then sends them to cyber criminals which can bankrupt you. So guys, that is why it is suggested by most of the banks to use the virtual keyboard for entering your username and password while using online banking. Guys, moving on, what does this social engineering means? So social engineering refers to tricking the people into divulging the personal information or other confidential data. So guys, for example, sometimes while opening our Gmail account or online bank account, a warning message pops up on the screen that your password is about to expire. Therefore, you need to renew your password or you need to renew your username. So what does this mean? It means that someone is trying to do social engineering with you. So we can say that social engineering is an umbrella that includes phishing, farming, and other types of manipulations. So what does this phishing and farming means? It means sending advertising messages like your password is about to expire. So guys, we can say that the aim of social engineering is convincing the user to disclose secret information such as password, card number, etc. So what do hackers do in social engineering? They pops up a message that your password is about to expire, and if you agree that yes, I want to change my password, then they will ask you for your old password, and in that way you provides them with your sensitive password. So guys, that is why banks repeatedly sends us messages that no bank person will ask you about the CVV number, card number, etc. And they ask us to never disclose these important things to anyone. So guys, we should never disclose our important passwords and card numbers to anyone in order to protect our account from social engineering. So alright guys, that's it about today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will try to finish this third chapter of ICT for GS for IES. Guys, do hit the like button and do subscribe the Gate Hunt and press the bell icon to receive notifications on latest jobs updates, Gate talks and video lectures on Gate and IES.